playoffs from Mars in the desert time of Phoenix. Now, Cole Larson, we've got about a minute left of practice. We're about done with practice now. This league does a 4-weekend playoff race, or four race playoff stretch. So we've got this is the first, and then after this week, I believe we go to Atlanta, we go to Charlotte, and I'll just have to check the schedule really fast. We'll go ahead and check the standings too while everybody qualifies. That way we know who's in, who's out. Looking at the schedule, Phoenix, Kentucky, Atlanta Auto Club. And your standings. They took 12 drivers. Top to bottom is Wesley Triplett, Ian Campbell, Corey Kroll, Caleb McKinney, Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, Gary Donnellan, Wayne Garland, Casey Gross, Jarrett Larder, Joshua Neal, and Michael Smith for your 12 drivers. It's anybody's championship. I mean, Michael Smith is tied for 7th or 12th with 1,000 points, and Wesley Triplett's your leader with 2 wins and 2 bonus points. And Cole Larson, he's our fastest guy so far. On his second lap right now, Corey Kroll is second. Cameron Combs just ran an even quicker lap. Cameron Combs at a 26.87, which is actually tied with Cole Larson, but Cameron's going to get the lead. Who else do we have out on the track right now? We got Jarrett Larder. As he comes around. His second lap's going to be good enough for a, let's see here, 26.89. He is 2/100ths off the pace. 2 guys up top get 26.87, then Corey Kroll, 26.88, Jarrett Larder, 26.89. Next we got Daniel Honeycutt, who runs a fast lap. Daniel Honeycutt at a 26.68. We saw what he was able to do last week. Does he come back this week? He is not a playoff driver. He just started too late. But maybe, this will be a sneak peek of what we got to look forward for next season. Got a little bit to go. Let's see. We've had 10 guys post qualifying times, and all in all, it's looking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 16 on the grid tonight as Austin Smith comes out. This is his first lap. Wesley Triplett, is done. He's coming past the line, and it's going to be good enough for 9th place for Wesley Triplett as Austin Smith comes around for his first lap. Let's see what this puts him at. 26.83 for Austin Smith. That puts him up in 3rd. Who else do we have out on the track? Anthony Garland, about to post his first time. Looks like he might have got into the wall because he doesn't have a time so far. There it is, 27.15 for Anthony Garland. We got Corey Blevins out on the track. It's one of the guys last week that it was his first race. He did okay. I think he ran out of tires. But he was, battling in the top 5 all race. This is a tough racetrack to drive. It's super flat. You got to really get on your brakes. You need to have good trail braking if you want to win, and then you're going to have to save your tires too. The championship race was here last season, and it solely came down to tires. His first lap's going to be a 27.16 as he goes into old 3 and 4, new 1 and 2. Coming down into 3 and 4. He's looking pretty quick. He might need to get a little bit lower there to get the pole, but I think that's going to be good enough for a pretty good time. Yep, 26.77 for Corey Blevins. That's going to be good enough for 3rd place. And let's see who we're waiting on here. Brandon Puffenbarger. Brandon Puffenbarger's the last car to qualify. Who did we pick to win last week? I think we picked Austin Smith. Austin Smith's going to be rolling off 5th. Austin, I'm not sure who won the championship race. I don't remember. I remember who almost won. Austin about won that race. He just ran out of tires. But maybe tonight's the night where Austin can come back. Yeah, I'm just kidding, Austin. I know. All right, let's see where Brandon is. Uh-oh. We've got a new P1 with a 26.66 for Brandon Puffenbarger. I said Austin was going to win this race. Brandon was going to win at Kentucky. But, you never know. He's fastest so far. Wesley's still out on track. Your self-proclaimed fan favorite is going into, he's going in really hot. As he comes around, let's see what this is going to put him at. He ran a 27.01 his first time by. His second time by is going to be a, still showing 27.01. I think he might just be out here getting some practice. Let's see what he can run this time by. All right, Wesley, go ahead and put her in the pit so we can get started. Let's see how much time he has left. Got about a minute to go. A minute to go of qualifying. Another thing we need to do is get in the broadcast booth. Technically, we're not even in the broadcast booth yet.
we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, thanks, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Nate. Yeah, thanks.
All right, they're gridding up. You might have heard a little bit of everybody talking. I was going around and wishing them good luck. So let's see what our grid shows out to be. There's your grid. Starting up top, it's going to be Brandon Puffenbarger, Daniel Honeycutt on your second row. On your first row, second row is going to be Caleb McKinney, Corey Blevins. Third row, and fifth and sixth is going to be Alex Campbell, Austin Smith. And seventh and eighth is going to be Cameron Combs and Cole Larson. Ninth and 10th is going to be Corey Kroll, Jarrett Larder. 11th and 12th is going to be Joshua Neal and Casey Gross. 13th and 14th is going to be Wesley Triplett and Anthony Garland. 15th and 16th, rounding out your field, is going to be Michael Smith and Wayne Garland. We got a good crowd tonight, or a good grid size. Excuse me. And let's pull Brandon Puffenbarger real quick. Hey, Brandon, this is Nate up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
You started off P1, man. You had a hot lap. How are you feeling about tonight?
I guess we'll see. I'm not the greatest at saving my tires here, especially right front, but we'll see. I'll probably try to take it easy at the beginning part of the run, just see if I can stay paced with Daniel and Austin.
All right, man. What are y'all looking at for a fuel run tonight?
It was like 49 and a half laps, I believe, or 39 and a half.
Awesome.
I know someone's going to try to stretch it to
Yeah.
lap 60, he said. But
All right.
that
Wonder who that
happens.
could be. All right. Hey, we'll talk to you later, man. Good luck tonight.
All right, bud.
All right. Well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you watched last week, you should know who's trying to stretch it to 60. Let's see if it can work for him 2 weeks in a row. As the pace truck's off. Brandon's going to take your green here. There he goes into the restart zone, and he's off. There's your green flag. Brandon gets a good start as you see him stretch out at about 3-4 wide towards the back. Honeycutt's going to go up top, try and get a good run here in the beginning. And he's going to cross him over, get Brandon a little loose going into down the back stretch. Let's see what he does down here in 3 and 4. I thought Alex was going to miss that turn. You see him slide way up. He does miss the turn. And look how much time that Alex Campbell just lost for these top two as Brandon's kind of starting to pull away. Oh, we got a caution out. Sorry, I didn't even know we had a caution. It says Caleb McKinney and Anthony Garland crashed. Let's go back and watch it. Oh, there he goes. Oh, big wreck. Big wreck for those two. Caleb McKinney is going to be done probably. It looks like he is going to try and get it down into pit road. Let's go back live. And we've got 3 cars taking the pits. We've got Caleb McKinney, Anthony Garland, and Wesley Triplett. So I wonder if Wesley didn't get a piece of that. He's your leader right now. Caleb McKinney, Wesley Triplett, both in the playoffs. Not a great start to playoffs on lap 1. Your choose cone tonight. Choose cone is going to be the start-finish line and the yellow line. Top is top row. Below the yellow line is bottom row. That was a nasty lick. Let's go see if we can't see that again. get a little different view. So here goes Caleb McKinney down into the turn. You got Wayne Garland on top. Michael Smith behind it. Looks like he's just going to lose it. Overcorrects right into the wall. Gets Wayne Garland pretty good, too. As we got more drivers going into pit road, Corey Kroll just went into pits. This is probably just going to be a fuel stop. We have 120 laps tonight, so his strategy of, you know, they said 39, 40 laps. Corey's going to try and make it to lap 60, so this would be a great time for him to pit. Well, I just ruined it, but he's going to pit every chance he can probably to try and stretch that fuel tank as much as he can. It worked for him last week, and man, it'd be great if it worked for him again. He'd take the lead in this series. So here they come to the choose cone. Alex Campbell still in third. You know, hopefully he learned. He took it way deep in 3 and 4 on the first lap. That caution was already out, I think, probably, but that's something I can probably need to do a little bit better job at. I didn't know the caution was out. I saw the pace truck. If we look on further back, your biggest mover so far very early in the race is going to be Michael Smith. He's up to 11th. And, of course, your tough break's going to be Caleb McKinney, who is still in the pits, and he had an EOL from an unclaimed wreck last week. So let's go back up to Brandon Puffenbarger here. It looks like they're going to be choosing this time by. So, man, after seeing that hot start, I think the car to watch might be this Daniel Honeycutt. He was bad fast, but not as bad fast as Brandon Puffenbarger was. It's just a matter of, Brandon said it himself, you know, saving tires. You really need to save tires here if you want a shot at the end. We've got 120 laps. You know, some of these guys are looking to push it 50, 60 laps on the same set of tires. You're not going to be able to be running 26-second laps like these guys were in qualifying. You'll just burn them up, and the banking on this track is basically non-existent. So you're just going to slide right up that track as we come to the choose cone here. Brandon goes high, Daniel Honeycutt low, Alex Campbell low. On further back, oh, we got a little bit of a mix-up here. A lot of cars taking the top or the bottom. So Michael Smith was the first car of a long one to take the bottom. He's going to gain a few positions there. So it's looking like the restart's going to be Brandon Puffenbarger, Daniel Honeycutt, Corey Blevins, Alex Campbell, Austin Smith, Cameron Combs, Jarrett Larder, Cole Larson, Michael Smith, Joshua Neal, Wesley Triplett, Casey Gross, Wayne Garland, Corey Kroll, Anthony Garland, and Caleb McKinney is still in the pits. He is going 3 laps down. Hopefully he doesn't have too much damage that he has to fix, but he slapped that wall really hard, so it's not looking too good for him right now. Brandon Puffenbarger goes way up top. Maybe he's just trying to get a good start. As there it is. Green flag's out. Brandon Puffenbarger with a great start. Corey Blevins and Austin Smith look like they're going to hook up top. Honeycutt goes all the way to the bottom with who was that? Cameron Combs? We'll see what happens in 3 as we go. Honeycutt gets a great run off of 1 and 2. He's going to get up to Brandon Puffenbarger. Let's see if he makes it stick on the inside. If Brandon Puffenbarger just gives it to him. Puffenbarger's going to shove it. And Honeycutt's going to make the pass. Brandon's in the wall. Austin Smith's going to go on the inside of Corey Blevins for 2nd place. They hit. Austin. Whoa, Austin's loose. Oh, he overcorrects. There's the caution. Caution's out. Caution is out. I almost did the Austin sideways, but I figured he'd save it. he was just pushing really deep, trying to get past Corey Blevins. Wonder what? Let's while we're wrecked real quick, let's look at the track temp. Excuse the iRacing overlay. Just 69 degrees, so it's a cool track. These guys are just, they might just be carrying in the speed a little too deep into the turn. Because it looks like the only guy that's going to take into pits is Jarrett Larder, Wesley Triplett, Austin Smith. Corey Kroll's going to stay out. So he must think that he's good. 2 early cautions in the race. These guys are just taking some time to get settled in. Let's see if he takes. All right, so the top 2 guys, Jarrett Larder, Wesley Triplett, those 2 guys just take gas. Austin Smith's going to go in and get 4 fresh tires after spinning out. Caleb McKinney's still getting some work done on that truck. And Daniel Honeycutt is your leader. Brandon Puffenbarger back in 5th after hitting that wall. But like he said, you know, I understand this 100%, but you can say, you know, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take it easy. And then somebody like Daniel Honeycutt comes up and he's bad fast, and you're like, I just don't know if I want him to get in front of me or not. So here comes Corey Kroll down pit road. Let's see if he gets gas only, what he does. He does get fuel only. So now, you know, he's looking at only having to stretch about eight or so laps of fuel to make it halfway. Now, he's going to want to go a little bit further than that. Go as far as you can if you're trying to do what Corey Kroll's trying to do. The rest of these guys obviously aren't trying to do that. I'm sure they might catch on in a minute, but what Corey Kroll needs to happen for this to be successful is he needs, from here on out, a green track. No more yellows, or his strategy's kind of going to go kaplunk, which is fine. You know, he hasn't used any tires. He's just lost track position right now. That's the only thing that he has gave up is track position. As we come to the choose cone this time by Daniel Honeycutt, let's see what he decides to do. He's looking like he's probably going to go. He goes to the bottom. Corey Blevins goes to the top. On further back, Puff on the bottom. Alex Campbell, Michael Smith up top. Jarrett Larder, Wesley Triplett, Corey Kroll all go to the bottom. And Austin Smith's going to say, well, okay, well, I'll take all those spots. Austin Smith was 14th. He was the last car on the lead lap. Let's see where he goes up to this time. If he can get up to the back of to the front of the pack. He should be on the top lane here. He was not on the bottom. He was on the top, wasn't he? Well, whatever. Oh, he might have an EOL for being the cause of caution or something. As we go up to the front, we're going to watch Daniel Honeycutt take the 3rd green of the race. We're 12 laps in. There's a start. Ooh, late start from Corey Blevins. That's going to give a great start to Daniel Honeycutt. It's going to give Cole Larson the opportunity to take 2nd, and he is. They're 3 wide for 3rd. Not a lot of room here. Corey Blevins is going to push really deep into 1 and 2. Looking like he's trying to clear Cameron Combs. Isn't quite going to let it. Cameron Combs isn't quite going to give that position up. Let's see what happens down here in 3 and 4 as Cole Larson takes an early break in. Gets on the gas a little early. Cameron Combs is trying to take that spot from Corey Blevins, but he doesn't quite have the speed to do it. As Cole Larson looks on the inside. They're about even, but Daniel Honeycutt's going to get a really good jump off. Looks like Cole Larson might have got a little loose. That's going to give Cameron Combs an opportunity coming into 3 and 4. Here's the difference. Cole Larson on the top. Looks like Cameron Combs might have got a little loose down there in 1 and 2. It's been a problem for a lot of people all night. Corey Blevins with a great turn in, but he looks like he carried a little too much speed. Is he going to be able to make it stick? He does. They're all carrying down. Cameron Combs going as low as he can. Cole Larson might get another good run on the back here. Does he make a move on the inside? He does. Let's see, he could have had a better entry if he could have just scooted a little more up. But it's not going to matter. He's going to dive way low this time. Honeycutt's going to stay towards the top. Get up closer towards Honeycutt. Cole Larson's running that middle. Honeycutt up top. Cole Larson gets on the gas first. Honeycutt just has an overpowered. Honeycutt throws a block. They touch. Cameron Combs goes to the inside of Honeycutt, or excuse me, of Larson. These two battling for second. Let's see if Larson can maintain that position. Cameron Combs is going to shoot all the way down to the bottom. Larson stays towards the top with Honeycutt. Cameron Combs sliding up the track just a tiny bit. That spot's going to go back to Larson on 1 and 2. Daniel Honeycutt in your lead. This is a 4-car battle. On back, you have Alex Campbell. He's about a half a second back, or a second and a half, excuse me, from these two. So here comes Brandon Puffenbarger as Alex Campbell got into the wall. These two are still even. It looks like the outside is the superior lane. It's a little bit quicker. You just wonder how much tire it's taken. I'll see what Honeycutt does down here 1 and 2. Where does he go? He's going to shoot all the way almost to the bottom, kind of wrap it around, diamond a little bit in 1 and 2. Cameron Combs goes around the outside for second place. Now Cameron Combs is going to go up there and try and get this position. And Cameron Combs is currently the fastest on the track as he takes very high into 1 and 2. He's going to get a really good run off this. Does he try and do a crossover move, or does he try and see if Honeycutt's going to block? Let's see. Looks like he couldn't quite make his mind up. Honeycutt's going to run a little bit further deep into the corner, though. But they're both going to make it work. Cameron goes way to the bottom here. That's lap 22. We're already, a sixth of the way done with this race. This might be a quick race if they stay green. As we're coming up to our first lap traffic, that might help. The dirty air shouldn't be too much of a problem this race, but it will be there. Just not quite as much as it would be on a 1.5 mile track. As Anthony Garland's going to get out of the way of these two. Oh, he's in the wall. Looks like he's going to dive down into pits. One person I want to go check on is this gentleman right here. Corey Kroll. Let's ride along with him. See if you can notice anything weird about Corey Kroll. He's just trying to save. The problem is you don't want to save too much and get caught a lap down, because then your strategy just kind of goes out the window. But it looks like he's doing okay right now. So we ride along with Cameron Combs here. Oh, and he's in the wall, but it's okay. He bounces off really good. That's actually going to benefit him, but it's very dangerous. Let's see what he does down here in 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, excuse me. Yeah, see, these guys' tires are already struggling. Let's check on Austin Smith. He got fresh tires back on lap 12. He is up to 8th place, running behind Joshua Neal here. Last time by, Austin Smith ran a 27.05. The leaders ran a 27 flat. So he's right on pace with the leaders here. It's just a matter of making it through traffic. As there's another spot. Next up is Brandon Puffenbarger. He's got quite a ways until he can catch up to Brandon. About, let's see here, 2 seconds to Brandon Puffenbarger. So let's see. He's about to have a clean lap. Let's see what he runs this time. That'll be a difference of, 10 seconds. Or 10 laps, excuse me. The battle between these two. Still about the same, and then it's a little bit further back. Corey Blevins and Cole Larson are starting to fall off a little bit. But again, just like it was last week, it's all Daniel Honeycutt early on. Cameron Combs is trying his best to hang on, though. As we should see these guys pit about lap 50 or so, maybe, with the caution laps that we had, 45, 50, about 15 more laps to go, which they want to cut, 120 into 3. What is that, 40? Yeah, so maybe they pit about lap 40, 41. But with the 2 early cautions we had, that's, you can take about, I don't know, say 8 or so laps of tire wear off. With how much tires they've used this race, I'd probably stay out a little bit extra. Try and save, put a little less tire wear on your last 2 runs of the race. Cole Larson passed Alex Campbell for P4. And let's check the lap times now. We got a 27.72 last time by for Daniel Honeycutt. Austin Smith's going to be running a 27.62. So he's running about a 10th or so faster than these guys. But he's about 5 seconds back. So looks like these guys are doing really good now. So it's going to be hard if they stay green for anybody to catch them. I'd say the top 4 or 5 are still in a position where they can, do something with strategy or whatnot. But Daniel Honeycutt and Cameron Combs have done a very good job this race early, stretching out their lead. Corey Blevins is getting carried with them. On further back past Corey Blevins, Cole Larson's really fallen off. You don't wonder if his tires are completely washed. He's now 4 seconds behind Daniel Honeycutt. See how close he gets to this wall here. Oh, we're in the wall. Let's go back this way. Cameron Combs goes so far down the track, he enters pit lane, but it's pit exit. So I wouldn't, I'm surprised it's not giving him a black flag for speeding on pits, but it's not. Now it's a matter of everybody getting into pit road. Caleb McKinney is still in the pits. Is he still on track? Yes, he's still here. He just has a lot of work to get done, and now he's at the point where, he is about, he's 32 laps down at the moment. Daniel Honeycutt probably wants to win really bad last week. He easily had the fastest car last week. He was really good. Brandon Puffenbarger was really good. But it was Corey Kroll beating everybody with strategy last week to get his first win in Mars. At least as long as I've been watching Mars for. Now Daniel Honeycutt's really starting to pull out that lead. I believe he qualified third. I can't remember. No, he qualified seventh. No, excuse me. He qualified second. Cameron Combs qualified seventh. Your biggest mover of the race up to this point, speaking of, is going to be Cameron Combs up 5 positions. And then your second toughest luck is going to be Brandon Puffenbarger. I'm wondering if he didn't get a little bit of damage. We'll see. We'll be able to see here. I'm not seeing anything. It might have just been exactly what he was talking about. It might have used a little too much tires. As Cole Larson might be in the same boat as Austin Smith managed to get past the two of them. Now he's fighting his way towards those top two. He's maintained the same gap, but he's fought his way through traffic. You just wonder how much tire he's had to use, and he's used it. Oh! Alex Campbell sideways, but I believe he was able to save it. He was. Was there contact there? Alex Campbell sideways, but I believe he was able to save it. Was there contact there? Oh, there was. Him and Cole Larson got together. He comes up. Cole Larson comes down. I don't know what he was. You think he was going down. Let's watch that real fast off of Brandon Puffenbarger's view. So we go to Brandon Puffenbarger here. Yep. Let's go back live. And Alex Campbell he's lost about, I don't know, half a second or so. Not too far back. But just listen to those tires squeal. These two guys are in the same boat, I believe. Whoa, Cameron Combs has made his way back up. As we were watching that other battle. Let's see if he tries to make a move. He might need to not wreck him. Don't wreck him now. But he might need to, you know, give Daniel Honeycutt a little bit of a push. Just get him out of the groove. So he's going to shoot to the bottom here. They might be too wide going into 1 and 2. Daniel Honeycutt's going to throw it in. Those tires are squealing. Cameron Combs is going to get the run off the corner. They're about a half a car length in between the two of them. Gap stretches out a little bit in 3. Let's see what happens here. Cameron Combs goes low this time. So does Daniel Honeycutt. I believe Honeycutt's going to get the run off the corner, and he does. So Cameron Combs is able to close that gap all the way down, but Daniel Honeycutt just has such a good run off of 2. Wayne Garland's coming out of the pits. And is now the time we start to see cars coming in. It's lap 44. So like we were saying, you know, they pit twice, which is what they should have to do here. Now would be the time to start seeing some guys come to pit road. And I think that's going to be the difference between these two guys. Who pits first? It's a game of cat and mouse. And one guy we shouldn't be forgetting about is Corey Blevins. He's only a second behind these two. On further back, Austin Smith has been able to make up a second on these two since we last talked about him. And there he goes. Daniel Honeycutt's coming into pit road. Let's see who follows him in. Cameron Combs stays out. Corey Blevins stays out. And it looks like he might be the only guy that jumps down this early. Everybody else is going to stay out. And here comes Cameron. Oh, just kidding. He was just doing the whole super low thing. And Cameron Combs is going to come in this time by. Corey Blevins looks like he's going to stay out trying to lead a lap. Daniel Honeycutt just now got to his pit. That shows you how long this pit road is. Him and Cameron Combs are going to pit on lap 45 and 44. Now, Austin Smith, the gap is 2.5 seconds, 2.7 seconds. But the last time by lap was a difference of 0.3 of a second. Here comes Corey Blevins. Now, I bet Austin Smith stays out here a few more laps, as he's running a lot faster than these guys. And here comes everybody else into pit road. Corey Blevins is in. Cole Larson is in. Cameron Combs, Joshua Neal, Michael Smith. Daniel Honeycutt's already pitted. Wayne Garland's already pitted. And Anthony Garland has already pitted. There goes Corey Blevins. Austin Smith. Oh, he touches the wall a little bit. He might be pushing it a little bit, trying to get everything he can. He knows he's on an old set of tires. Brandon Puffenbarger's still out there. Alex Campbell, Jarrett Lauder, Wesley Triplett, Corey Kroll, Casey Gross. Those are your guys that are yet to pit. Be interesting to see how long Corey stays out there for. Let's see if we can go into his cockpit. Let's see if he's still clutching it in the corners. He is. One thing about this, though, is last time by, he ran a 28.6, so he's running pretty slow, but he should be saving tires decently good because he's not using as much speed going into the corner. He also does not have engine braking going in, though, because Austin Smith's still out there. Here comes Alex Campbell into pit road. Something might have happened to Cameron Combs, guy. He's... Uh-oh, I think Cameron Combs might have got caught speeding. He's back into pit road. Looks like the right side of the right rear of that car is a little bit bent. So something might have happened with that. Alex Campbell's coming in now. Well, let's look at the difference now. Corey Blevins actually came out ahead of Daniel Honeycutt. He is 7 seconds ahead of him. So I don't know what exactly happened there. Maybe he takes 2 tires. But yeah, I think something happened to Cameron Combs, guys. As he's about a lap down. Austin Smith now has a 3-second lead. Fastest last time by was Corey Blevins. He pitted on lap 47, so he pitted 2 laps after. Ooh, last time he ran a 26.97, one of the fastest lap of the race. 26.97 for Corey Blevins. Behind him is 3/10 slower Daniel Honeycutt, so that shows you how important tires are here. So Austin Smith still... Oh, we got a caution. What is the caution out for? No, I'm not showing any wrecks or anything on my little tool here. I'm not exactly sure what the caution's for, but of course that's going to send in Brandon Puffenbarger, Wesley Triplett, Austin Smith, Jarrett Lauder, Corey Kroll, and Casey Gross are all going to pit here. Was that long enough for Corey Kroll? Was he a lap down? He was not a lap down. But that has to not be very good for his strategy here. Let's see if we can't find a... I'm not able to see a gauge in there that would tell me. He gets 4 tires. Everybody's going to get 4 tires into pit road. There's the race off. That kind of kills Corey's idea. You wonder how much longer he could have stayed out. They were only 5 laps away. And right now, it is most definitely out of reach. So, Austin Smith is still marked as your leader. So Daniel Honeycutt and all those guys are a lap down, which means they're not going to be able to pit here. And now they're on, let's see, Oh, yeah, they're on 10 lap old tires, so they might come back in this time around and pit. They might hope for a fast caution. You never really know, but even though Corey Kroll's, fuel strategy might not work out for him this week, he certainly staying out was the right thing to do because now he's in fifth after basically sandbagging all race. This is good for Caleb McKinney, not Caleb McKinney, Cameron Combs. Cameron Combs, Alex Campbell, Michael Smith, Anthony Garland, all those guys are a lap down, so this should help them recover. So here comes Austin to the choose cone, I believe. And let's see where he decides to go here. Looking like he's going to go to the top. Brandon Puffenbarger goes low. Jarrett Larder up top. Wesley Triplett down low. Corey Kroll down low. Michael Smith up top. Corey Blevins up top. And all these guys are going to be ineligible that are racing around. I'm interested to see the difference in the tires. I just want to clarify that none of these guys are eligible for the choose cone. Nope, all of them have to start on the bottom here. So you really have to be careful here. You are not allowed to change lanes until you cross that start-finish line. So with a long line like that, you got to be careful. Make sure you don't jump it, but Austin Smith's going to be the leader here as he goes for the green. Brandon Puffenbarger with an okay start. Michael Smith did not get a very good start. They're 4 wide back. That might be an issue. Looks like they're going to try and make it work. Daniel Honeycutt, look how far back he is as he's been the leader. The guy to beat all race long. They're still 3 wide. Cole Larson might look 4 wide here. He's on the bottom with Daniel Honeycutt. Michael Smith's going to go up top and say, you guys have your fun. There's still 60 laps to go. I'm good. Alex Campbell might be doing the same thing here. He goes up top. Daniel Honeycutt quickly makes it through that crew. As we go up here, Austin Smith is checking out. Austin Smith last time by was a 27.64, 2/10 faster than anybody else in the field. Let's see if Corey Kroll's given up on his strategy, if he's still trying to do that. Looks like Corey Kroll's just trying to run a good, clean, one-stop race now. Now, this should be a pretty quick little run. We've got 60 laps to go. You split it into 2. Some of these guys are going to be coming in probably lap 70 or so. The other guys are going to come in lap 80 probably. Or 90, excuse me. Austin Smith shoots way low. The other guys are going to stay up top. He's checking out. He's running 4/10 faster that last time by. To record the fastest lap of the race by a 1/10 of a second. Austin Smith is flying with this clean air. That's the reason I put him as my pick to win the race. Is when he gets clean air, the dude is so fast. He was really fast here last year. He just ate up those tires. You got to hope he's not doing the same thing, running fast lap after fast lap. Last time by 26.77. That is by 3/10 the fastest lap of the race. He's running extremely fast here. You just got to hope he's not running too hard. Oh, yeah, look at that. He's running extremely hard. And he's used a set of tires that a lot of these guys haven't. I think Austin Smith might only have 1 set of tires left. All these other guys, for the most part, have 2. So we go look further back. We look at the difference in Corey Blevins and Daniel Honeycutt. That's the difference in those 10-lap tires. So last time by, Corey Blevins ran a 27.3. Daniel Honeycutt ran a 27.5. So, and Austin Smith ran a 27.0. Now it looks like he's starting to slow down a little bit, as we are halfway by. Still don't know what the caution came out for. Oh, Corey gets a little loose. Jarrett Larder on the top of him. Brandon Puffenbarger leading those two. Looks like Corey Blevins going to try to point his nose in on Jarrett Larder. Brandon Puffenbarger, all those guys really shooting up top. Jarrett Larder and Wesley Triplets decide to stay on the track. Austin Smith has built a 3-second gap on the field, but it's starting to come back. They're slowly starting to reel him back in. Oh, there he goes again. He's stretching it back out. Now we look at Corey Blevins and Daniel Honeycutt, and the gap is 1.5 seconds. As Daniel Honeycutt's battling Casey Gross here for 7th place. Now, I don't think they're quite in fuel window if we get a caution. It's a little too early for anybody to quick pit or anything like that. For these back guys, Daniel Honeycutt, Casey Gross, Kyle Larson, all those guys, for those guys to split their fuel run, let's see, it's looking like they're going to need to pit at about lap 85, lap 90 or so. 85, lap 80 or so. These other guys are good to pit really whenever they want. Looking like it's going to be, they're on a 35 lap run, so maybe 90. They can pit. So it's looking like it's going to be about a 10 lap difference. And right now, I mean, you can see the gap that they built. So we've ran about 10 laps. They were able to put that gap up. I think right now, these top 6 drivers are really all in the driver's seat. They have secured themselves a good finish tonight. As long as they can stay out of trouble, I hope everybody else stays out of trouble. I think everybody here in the top 6 walks away happy. Of your top 6, 5 of them, let's just say all of your top 5 drivers are playoff drivers. So I'm sure all of them are okay here with the way that they're running. One guy who's not okay with how he's running is Caleb McKinney. He's been in the pits for 40 minutes. I don't believe that he might accidentally not alt F forward out of iRacing after the lap 1 crash in turn 1 and 2, as he is now about 69 laps down. It is impossible. It is quite literally impossible for him to come back this race. So it's unfortunate for him. He's going to finish tonight in 16th place. Another guy that's out is Wayne Garland. Wayne, I don't know why it says Anthony Garland. Anthony is looking like he's about 50 laps down. So theoretically, I mean, Caleb could come back out and get one spot and get 15th. But not looking too good early on tonight. Austin Smith, the gap is now 3.6 seconds and growing. Wesley Triplet, Brandon Puffenbarger, Corey Kroll, Jarrett Larder, Corey Blevins. They run behind him. And then you got Daniel Honeycutt and Corey Gross hanging on for dear life here. On further back, it looks like there's just a severe fall off. I mean, these guys pit lap 46. Wayne Garland pit lap 41. He is 14 seconds back. Cameron Combs, he pit lap 46. He's 40 seconds back. Alex Campbell, 48 seconds back. And super slow. We've got a caution. I'm willing to bet that it might have been this gentleman right here. Oh, yeah. And this changes everything, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Austin Smith probably doesn't pit here. Let's go back and watch real quick. All right, so he's on the inside of Cameron Combs here. Goes up. Cameron Combs just goes down. Man, Alex had a crash in the same exact spot last year. That stinks for him. Austin Smith does stay out, so he might come in because literally every single person except for Casey Gross came in. Cameron Combs is going to be your lucky dog. That's going to put him back on the lead lap. Oh, he's not going to be a lucky dog because he was involved in that caution. That's going to move your lucky dog. Alex Campbell's going into pits. Your lucky dog is going to be Michael Smith. Michael Smith's going to get back on the lead lap here. So Cameron Combs and Alex Campbell were battling for the lucky dog spot, and unfortunately, Cameron Combs got a little loose, came down, put Alex in the wall. All right, Wesley Triplett's going to win your race off of pit road. Brandon Puffenbarger, Corey Kroll, Jarrett Larder, Daniel Honeycutt. All right, guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Wesley Triplett's going to be starting third, potentially second, depending on where Casey Gross decides to go. If I am Casey Gross here, I am going to the top and getting out of the way, same as Austin Smith. We saw what the difference was in a 10-lap differential on tires. Let's go pull up our pit strategy here. There you see it. Austin Smith has been out for 22 laps. Same with Casey Gross. Everybody else is on new stuff, guys. No, one thing we haven't messed with tonight was our track map. I wish we would have done that. Okay, I'm just messing around here. All right, Austin Smith goes low. Casey Gross goes high, and Wesley Triplett goes low. So, guys, I don't know how this is going to end. It's only two guys on old tires. Austin Smith's really good at, staying out. I don't know enough about Casey Gross to know how good of a driver he is. Oh, does that show our track temp? That'll be super cool if it does. Track temp is 69. It does. That's very nice. As here we go. Austin Smith's going to take your green. Got to watch for a spin of the tires here. They're stacked up on back. There's the green. He gets a great start. Jarrett Larder looks like he might have been in the wrong gear. Gets a bad start. Austin's going to get out to a great start there. 4 wide. Ooh, they're wrecking. Corey Kroll, Daniel Honeycutt. I think Daniel Honeycutt was okay. Corey Kroll. Oh, man, that didn't look very good. Let's go back and watch. I think he got into that wall pretty good, but no, it looks like he was able to stop it. They just went 4 wide here off the start. So the damage shouldn't be too bad from anybody. Corey's bent up pretty good on that. See his left front. Let's go back live, see if he takes it into pits. He's trying to catch up to everybody. They have 0 fast repairs in this league, guys. Alex Campbell goes back into pits trying to get some of his damage fixed. Austin Smith stays out again. And just on that restart right there, who was it that was up with him? Casey Groves. Casey Groves lost the position to Wesley Triplett. I don't even know if that was enough time, as there goes Michael Smith again for the lucky dog. Austin Smith really needs to be asking himself, will these guys make it? Because if they do, he probably needs to go take a last set. You know, it's not something that he wants to do here, but I think you hate it. You hate him taking his last set of tires with 38 laps to go, but I don't really think he has any other option here. That's going to take away the everybody's kind of on the same pit strategy here now. And with 38 laps to go, everybody should be able to make it on fuel now. Corey Kroll is going to come in and get some work done on that car. Jarrett Larder takes 4 tires and some fuel. Excuse me. I don't think he did take 4 tires and some fuel. He just got a splash of gas. Casey Gross was in for about 15 seconds. Austin Smith was in for 26 seconds in his pit box. So Corey Kroll's coming out right now looking like he's going to try and get some work done on that truck. Alex Campbell still on pit road. Rough night for him. Wesley Triplett takes the top. Brandon Puffenbarger on the bottom. Joshua Neal behind him. Whoa, I'm further back. Nobody takes the bottom. Who's going to take the bottom here? Somebody's about to get a huge jump. Was it Austin? Look at that. Austin Smith, after pitting, is going to jump all these cars right here. Everybody goes to the top. I mean, I do not understand that. We go to the cockpit of Corey Kroll, which Corey might have had an EOL. But, I mean, look at that. He could have been all the way up there. But let's watch this restart. Everybody's on some fresh tires. This should be pretty interesting. Austin Smith, actually, he has one less run than the rest of these guys. I just don't think it's enough. It's 5 laps, but really it was 1 lap. Daniel Honeycutt behind Austin Smith. As they're 3 wide on further back. Wesley Triplett with a great start. Brandon Buffenbarger and Cole Larson are going to be 2 wide here. Joshua Neal is in front of Austin Smith. He's going to get a push from Austin Smith. Wayne Garland slides up the track, almost gets into Austin Smith. It's looking like everybody's starting to even out. Daniel Honeycutt does get in front of Austin Smith there. Oh, we got a wreck. Jarrett Larder. The caution's out. Let's see what happens here. I don't know if Wayne just came too far down. Yeah. I think Jarrett might have just been expecting to Wayne go back up to the wall. Wayne's just trying to get a really good run off that. No, he got loose. That's what happened. Wayne Garland got loose, turns Jarrett Larder into the wall. Jarrett Larder is going to go into pits here, along with his teammate Alex Campbell. It's a rough night for Freedom Motorsports. Alex Campbell's all kinds of bent out of shape. Now, some of these guys should still have a set of tires left. Just a matter of pulling that trigger. They pit last about lap 76. So we've got 12 laps on these tires. Wesley Triplett, we haven't really said his name tonight. He's going to be the mover of the race so far. He's all the way up in 12th. Something happened to Corey Blevins. I don't know if it was, you know, he might have got involved in something, but he's out. He's out of the race. Along with Cameron Combs. Both of those guys are out. So they might have got caught up in something that we didn't see. Alex Campbell's in 12th. Alex Campbell's 2 laps down in 12th. So Jarrett Larder's going to be your last car on the lead lap. He's back in 11th. Let's hopefully we get a good, hoping we can get a good eye of the choose cone here. That'd be awesome. There's Jarrett. Did we get a good eye of the choose cone? I sure hope so. Let's see. No, I don't think we're quite going to get it. Oh, that'll kind of work. Look like they're not going to choose this time by anyways. That one would have worked, but it's all right. See, this is 1 and 2. This is the gyro cam. So, you know, in a turn like at Daytona, this thing would be like all kinds of twisted. But you look at it here, look at how much it changes coming onto the straightaway. Just barely changes. So you see how little banking there is in 1 and 2. Now you look here in 3 and 4, there's a little bit more. That's why the drivers are able to carry a little bit more speed, and sometimes they carry a little too much speed down here in this corner. You'll see it right here. Because now you can see that car turn a little bit more. And then they'll completely unload it here, as he's going to go to the bottom. All right, and there you have it. Austin Smith, where is he? He's going to be 3rd on the bottom. Cole Larson's going to be first on the top. First on the bottom, excuse me. Wesley Triplett's going to choose the top. Brandon Puffenbarger's going to go with him. We've got 29 laps to go, and we'll be done racing. 29 laps to go. Everybody, for the most part, still on the same set. And there's the green flag. Wesley Triplett, Brandon Puffenbarger get a great start. Cole Larson, something was amiss with his truck. As they spread on out, you see everybody going different. Looks like everybody's going to make it through the dog leg okay this time by. Wesley Triplett with another great start. Cole Larson's going to get a good run off this turn. He might be able to clear Daniel Honeycutt, but you'll notice Daniel Honeycutt's just slowly making his way forward. But you wonder, you know, last week we didn't really get to see him racing a pack. We just saw him racing up front. You wonder if he's able to get past these trucks. Cole Larson's looking for a way to pass Brandon Puffenbarger here. Now that's not going to do the trick, as Brandon Puffenbarger's going to have a better run off of 2. Now Wesley Triplett slowly making that gap. Whoa, Casey Gross really throws it hard into that turn. He's able to keep it out of the wall though, but here comes Austin Smith and Corey Kroll on the inside of him. Now Brandon Puffenbarger starting to zero that gap in a little bit. Cole Larson's going to come hard this time. Cole Larson's trying to make something happen on that top lane. You just wonder, you know, if he's using more tire than he needs to be with 25 to go. Daniel Honeycutt really throws it in. Now they're starting to kind of edge in on this leader. Austin Smith, Casey Gross both into the wall. Corey Kroll is going to go on the inside of Casey Gross here. Don't know if he's going to be able to make a pass stick, though, as Casey Gross makes that outside line work. Brandon Puffenbarger gets a little loose down going into the dog leg, but they're going to be side by side coming into 1 and 2. They touch. Brandon Puffenbarger's way down. And Cole Larson wanted to make a move, but he wasn't quite clear on Daniel Honeycutt. He's going to give Brandon Puffenbarger a push. And there's contact. Let's go watch this battle for a second. And Austin Smith says he wants to part of this action. He's going to pass Brandon Puffenbarger and Cole Larson. Cole's going to come back up on the top, though. Brandon Puffenbarger's bad loose. He's going to lose all those spots, and he's falling back. And now we're looking at Cole Larson and Daniel Honeycutt for second place here, and Wesley Triplett saying, y'all, I'm loving this. Please let this please happen. Oh, there's a wreck. Austin Smith and Brandon Puffenbarger get together. Oh, yeah, look at that slide from Austin Smith, and he doesn't have another set of tires, guys. Oh, excuse me. It was 2 separate wrecks. So let's watch Brandon Puffenbarger first. We saw him get loose. And then Cole Larson looks like he just comes. Looks like those guys barely touch. And then he just locks it up. Brandon Puffenbarger just slows down trying to stay. And Wayne hits the wall. Or Anthony, excuse me. All right, we got quite a few cars coming into pit that time by. So here's the strategy difference. We'll see who goes in, who stays out. Wesley Triplett's going to give up the lead. Daniel Honeycutt's going to come in. Corey Kroll comes in. Joshua Neal comes in. Alex Campbell's in pit road. And who stays out? Daniel Honeycutt comes in. It's looking like the guys that stay out is going to be Austin Smith, Brandon Puffenbarger, Wayne Garland, Michael Smith, Casey Gross, and Cole Larson. Michael Smith. It'd be awesome to see him get a win. And right now, he's your mover of the race, up 12 positions from 15th to 3rd. Michael Smith, driver of that 45. He's here all the time. He's always at these races. Something just happens. He gets caught up in a wreck. Some tire pit strategy doesn't work. It'd be awesome to see him get a win. Cole Larson, he's been strong. He just hasn't quite been able to get that truck in clean air. Now he has that clean air. But look, Last time he pit was, golly, 20 laps ago. We saw what happened to Austin Smith. So if you're these top 4 or 5 guys, you have to be hoping for, 10 laps and a caution, or they're going to be in some trouble if this thing goes green. It's been a good race tonight. Great race at Phoenix. I feel like usually these Phoenix races are boring, but hey, this one's been pretty good. Question for the chat. If there's anybody in the chat that can answer. Let's just say this. Let's do this. Ty Gibbs. Does he get his first win in the Cup Series next year? I feel like he was close. I used to have a podcast, and I said in one of my episodes, Ty Gibbs, it was like the Bristol race. I was like, Ty Gibbs is going to get his first win of his career this weekend. And he almost did it. I don't remember what happened, but he wasn't quite able to do it. But I don't mind Ty Gibbs. I hope he can get a win this year, especially in that Joe Gibbs equipment that he's in. The lawsuit with Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, 2311 Racing. I don't really know what's going on. I haven't been keeping up with that. I know they tried to get, last I heard, it's 2311 and Live Fast Racing maybe, or Spire or somebody else, and they wanted NASCAR's books, and NASCAR being a private company, it didn't pass. As we come to the choose cone here, I'll shut up. Cole Larson goes up top. Casey Gross is going to go to the bottom. Michael Smith goes up top. Wayne Garland, Austin Smith. Oh, I'm further back. We need to find out. We've got 11 cars on the lead lap. 19 laps to go here. I better hope there's a quick caution, those guys that stayed out. Austin Smith, he doesn't have fresh tires, so he's kind of a sitting duck here, whatever happens. There's the pace truck goes off. Let's see. Fresh tires are back in 6th place. It looks like it's 5th, but it's 6th place on that inside row. Wesley Triplett, he's on the 3rd row on the inside. That's your fresh tires. You got Corey Kroll back there. Daniel Honeycutt, Daniel Honeycutt's going to be super aggressive on this restart, trying to get everything he can before the tire advantage starts to go away. Cole Larson, Casey Gross, both with good exits. Those guys in second both don't get a very good start. There it goes. They're 3 wide. Daniel Honeycutt's all the way inside on the other side of that yellow line. And he's just not going to get a good run without that banking. And he falls back. Joshua Neal's falling back down the middle. Yeah, see, those fresh tires are already past Austin Smith. They're 4 wide. As Austin and Daniel Honeycutt get a little bit, they touch. They're still 4 wide. Got to be careful. That dog leg's usually where there's some. There he goes. Michael Smith makes a little tap with Wesley. Austin sees that happen, and he backs out of the gas, lets these 2 guys by. He's going to get a little bit better of a jump off of turn 2 than. Oh, there might have been a little bit of contact there. Those 2 guys are really battling. And Cole Larson's doing a very good job of pulling away. Let's see what he ran. Wesley Triplett's up to 4th place. Last time by ran a 27.17. Cole Larson ran a 27.06. As Wesley looks to the outside of Wayne Garland for 3rd place here. Wesley is your leader right now in the series. He's missed 3 races, but look at Daniel Honeycutt. Look at how much he just gained right there. Austin Smith's going up there with him. You just know that Austin's using every bit of his tires. There he goes. Wesley slips up. Wesley's really loose. Austin's going to go up and try to make something happen out of this. Daniel Honeycutt goes to the inside. Here's the battle for second. The battle for third, excuse me. Casey Gross up. About a second and a half between these two. And Cole Larson's moved the gap up to 3 seconds. As they're starting to even out now. Now it's just a march. Let's see. This time by is going to be a clean lap for all these guys. Let's see what they can run. Oh, there's a caution. I didn't even see it. Jarrett Larder crashed. I'm sorry. My apologies, guys. Let's see. Something happens here. Oh, yeah. Corey Kroll just barely nudges Jarrett there. And he spins out. He's not going to touch anything. He might have a little bit hot tires, but other than that, he's going to stop. The caution's going to come out. It looks like the only two guys that pit. Brandon Puffenbarger and Michael Smith. Everybody else stays out here. Which, I don't know, guys. I mean, 13 laps to go. Y'all are going to go to green with 9 or so to go. I'd probably pit if I still had tires. Yep, looks like Brandon Puffenbarger and Michael Smith are going to be the only two to pit. Now, Michael and Brandon, they've got 9 laps to get through 9 cars. Now, one thing you have to remember is the choose cone. Austin Smith pit a few laps ago, got all the way up to like the 3rd row. So something like that happens again. These two are going to be in a very good spot. If Brandon can get past 8th position, I think he'll win the race. Daniel Honeycutt, when did he pit last? He pit on lap 98, so about 10 laps, 10 lap old tires-ish. About 6 or 7 laps of actual time ran. All right, so looking here, let's see where fresh tires are. First one on fresh tires is going to be Michael Smith and Brandon Puffenbarger they're back in row 5. So they've got quite a bit of work to do, but they have time. We've got 10 laps to go. We're going to have 9 to go coming to green. And if you guys don't like this blimp view, let me know. I like it a lot because I can see everything. Hopefully you guys are the same way. As Cole Larson gets a great start, Casey Gross misses it on the inside. That checks up the whole bottom lane because they can't pass. They can't go anywhere out of their lane until they cross that checker. So that checks up the whole bottom lane. That puts Wesley up in second place. It's a 20-lap difference in tires, guys, in first and second. Cole Larson pitted on lap 76. Wesley pitted on lap 98. Looking here in 1 and 2, it doesn't look like it's all that bad. Cole Larson might have done a really good job saving his tires as we've got 8 laps to go that time by. Austin Smith up to third. He passes Daniel Honeycutt. Casey Gross on the back, further back. Wayne Garland got pretty loose there. And Michael Smith falling back. Looks like him and Brandon Puffenbarger are just really struggling getting through everybody. Might have been a little too late for them. Right now, it looks like it's Wesley or Austin's race. Cole Larson, if he can keep that car out in front, he'll get his first win in his second week, I believe. I think last week was his last week, or his first week in the series. We've got a slow car down on the bottom. We still got green. Oh, there it is. Wesley Triplets on the inside. He gets a good run off. And he had enough to clear him, but he didn't. Let's see what happens down here in 3 and 4, or 1 and 2. Surely Cole Larson pushes pretty hard. He might try for the crossover. Right now, it's not there. Austin Smith's on the inside. Austin Smith is on the inside. Wesley Triplet's going to take the lead here. There you go. Austin Smith's able to make that pass. So now those tires are starting to show for Cole Larson. Wesley Triplet, though, he's built a half-second lead on Austin Smith. Look further back. I hear somebody getting into the wall. Everybody looks okay, though. 4 laps to go for Wesley Triplet. The gap is staying the same. Austin's not able to make up any space on Wesley here. Looks like Josh was trying to block Corey. Nothing really happening any further back. So Austin's starting to bring this gap in just a little bit, but not fast enough, guys. 3 laps to go this time by. Austin Smith had it down to 3/10. It's now back up to 4 for 2 to go. Wesley Triplet has 2 laps to go, and he'll be the winner of your first race of the playoffs this season. He's leading the series right now by a point, so if he wins this race tonight, he'll be ahead by at least 6 points on second place. At least 46 points, excuse me. As here he comes to take the white flag. Does Austin Smith have anything left for Wesley Triplet? As they go through 1 and 2, the gap's down to 3/10. Let's see if he tries to shove it in or anything. Austin throws it in pretty deep, but it's not going to be enough, and Wesley Triplet's going to win at Phoenix. They're wrecking across the line. Who was that? Daniel Honeycutt? Brandon Puffenbarger. And there's your results. It's going to be Wesley Triplet, Austin Smith, Brandon Puffenbarger, Daniel Honeycutt, Jarrett Larder, Joshua Neal, Corey Kroll, Cole Larson, Casey Gross, Michael Smith, Wayne Garland, Alex Campbell, Cameron Combs, Corey Blevins, Anthony Garland, and Caleb McKinney. Round it off. Let's go back and see what happened at... I want to see what happened to Brandon here at the end. Because he does finish third. Him and Daniel Honeycutt are battling for third. And they just wrecked going across the line. That's all that really happened there. But that is going to give him third. Austin Smith in second. Wesley Triplett in first. Daniel Honeycutt in fourth. Jarrett Larder's able to get fifth. Let's see if we can't watch Wesley Triplett burn it down. I don't know if he's going to burn it down or not. He might just be, you know, doing Wesley things. Here he comes to the start-finish line. Let's see if he does it. There he goes. While he's doing that, let's get your third place finisher, Brandon Puffenbarger, up here. Brandon, this is Nate in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, overall, it was it looked like it was a pretty up and down night. You qualified on the pole, and then late, you and Austin got in some trouble, but y'all were able to come back there at the end. Let's talk about the race.
Kind of went how I expected. I'm not great with tracks like this where you depend on the right front, but I mean, I knew Daniel and Austin were obviously going to be fast. There's just some hiccups for pretty much most of the playoff guys, so it's like just trying to manage everything. But other than that, I mean, it was a good race. It's Phoenix is always tough for me.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you had a really good night, and third is a great start to the playoffs. So what are you going to do? I believe next week is Kentucky. What are you going to do to prepare for that? You're always fast at the mile and a half tracks.
Probably throw down a couple laps and just honestly hope for the best. That's what I usually do at the mile and a half. I know it's kind of my bread and butter, but it's always competing with Austin, and Daniel's always fast when he comes and races with us.
Yeah, since he's been back, it's thrown another challenge into the mix for you guys. Well, man, you had a great race. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
You for doing the broadcast, all the guys for coming out tonight, Chance for doing race control, and Austin and Corey for helping me. Well, the collective, but the three of us for putting this show on for everybody.
All right, man. Well, we'll catch you later. Good luck. Have a good weekend.
Sounds good.
All right, let's make sure Austin finished. He did. All right, so let's talk to Austin real quick. Austin, this is Nate. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, Nate. How's it going?
It's going good, man. I'm not going to lie. I think, you saw the broadcast. You were our picks to win this race last week. And you started out fast, and I think something happened early. You had to use a set of tires that you might not have wanted to. But it ended up working at the end. I thought you had a shot to win it. Let's talk about the race.
Yeah, I got myself into a very deep hole in the beginning of the race. Just kind of self-spun going into 2, I think it was. And then I didn't really want to use that set of tires when I came in. But, of course, I forgot to tell the pit crew to take them off. So burned those and then just kind of made my bet after that. But whenever I had that clean track in front of me, I think in the middle of the race, I was feeling really good about it. It was just tough to get around all the traffic and then on a different pit cycle than everybody else, so it was tough. But overall, P2 can't complain about that.
Yeah, there was a portion there where you were running so fast. You were like 0.3 faster. Let's just look. Your best lap tonight was a 26.77. Wesley's was a 27 flat. And the closest I can see to you right now was 0.2 back. So you were super fast once you got clean. It was just a matter of, those 20 lap older tires with what happened early on in the race. But, man, you had a great race and you almost made it. Great start. I think you're only going to be 6 points, 6 or 7 points behind Wesley in the championship standings with 3 races to go. Going into Kentucky next week, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I feel good about it. Back to a mile and a half track. Hopefully it'll be a little bit cleaner than tonight, and we can get in a rhythm and hopefully pull away. But I know we got Atlanta on that second to last race, and who knows what's going to happen there. So try to set myself up good in the points going into Atlanta and see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be nice having a good lead or, being towards the front with Atlanta because, like you said, you never really know what's going to happen at a super speedway. But, man, you had a great race tonight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I just need to give a shout out to you for putting on an amazing show. Always go back and watch, and it's very entertaining. And then just need to give a big thank you to Corey and Brandon and Chance for helping run everything and putting all this stuff on, and of course everybody for showing up and racing with us. We obviously couldn't do it if nobody showed up, so thank you to everybody who came and raced.
Yeah, it was a good field tonight. It was fun to watch, man. We hope you do good next week, and we'll be talking to you at the end. We'll see you next week, Austin.
I appreciate it, Nate.
And that was Austin Smith, your P2 driver. And that only leaves us one to go. His interviews are always interesting. Let's talk to him real quick. Wesley, this is Nate in the booth. You got a coffee? Man, you did it again. Let's talk about the race.
Hey, what an upset, my boy. They don't know about Georgia. I'm going to have to show them.
Hey, you aren't. I wouldn't say you were an upset. You were a point leader going into the race, and you came out and you were clutch at the end when you needed to be. You saved those tires, and they paid off at the end. And man, you were fast there at the end. I thought, honestly, I was like, well, his tires are a little bit older than Brandon's and Daniel's, but they just weren't able to. They weren't able to catch you. What were you doing there at the end to stay out in the lead?
I'm making that bumper about 4 trucks wide,
That'll-
and then just going in the corner, trying to, you got to razzle dazzle a little bit going in the corner when you got somebody on your bumper. You make them think they're gonna be able to get around you just to take the run away from them. I don't know. I really don't know what I did. Drove it the best I could, man. I was learning the whole race, just trying to find out what makes everybody fast at Phoenix, because I'm notoriously bad at this track.
Well, you had you obviously did really good tonight. You were able to get the win, and not only that, but you were leading coming in. You're going to be, I believe, 46, if I'm right, 46 or so points ahead of, second place going into, where are y'all next week? Kentucky. So that, 46 or 36, one of the two. I'm not too sure. But anyways, you're going to be at least 36 points ahead of second place for Kentucky. How do you feel about that going in there?
Well, I don't know, man. Kentucky, this is what seems to happen to me. I hate a track and I do good at it, and then I'm like confident about a track and I can't even get a top 10 hardly. So I feel the bad part of that is I don't feel real, or I do feel pretty good about Kentucky. I ran a bunch of officials there and got some speed a little bit, so I don't know. Just have to see what happens. See if I can, stretch the fuel window. That seems like a good strat here lately. That's how I got the advantage early. I think was being able to stay out, put some of them guys that was running up front a lap down early in the race.
Yeah, that was a huge turning shift. Is when you guys pit late there or didn't pit, and that yellow comes out, and there's like 6 guys on the lead lap. That allows you to get a fresh set of tires and be in front of them. That was a really big part of the race. But man, you've put yourself in a prime position. You're in the best position of the series right now. You came in a point ahead. You're going to come out 36 or whatever points. You've got 3 races to go, and you've got a big buffer. So you did great tonight. We're happy to see you back. And are you going to come back next week?
Hell yeah.
All right, Wesley.
What you mean?
We were happy to see you, man. It's good. It's always fun to talk to you. Before we let you go, you got anybody you want to shout out?
Hell yeah. Shout out to my crew chief, Raymundo, holding me down that race. He's back from a little hiatus too. Shout out to Nate Lee, my favorite caster ever in iRacing.
Very appreciated.
Shout out to the Mars dudes for putting this on, and shout out to Chance for not giving me a black flag tonight.
Heck yeah. We're happy for you. Congratulations, and we hope to see you again next week, man.
All right, appreciate it, Nate.
See you, Wesley. And that's your winner, Wesley Triplet. Like I said, that he's real fun to talk to. Great dude. He was happy. Great finish tonight. Again, let's go over it. Wesley Triplet, Austin Smith, Brandon Puffenbarger, Daniel Honeycutt, Jarrett Larder, Joshua Neal, Corey Kroll, Cole Larson, Casey Gross, Michael Smith, Wayne Garland, Alex Campbell, Cameron Combs, Corey Blevins, Anthony Garland, and then, well, unfortunately with that early, well, he did get back on the track. Caleb McKinney ended up finishing 48 laps, but he is going to finish in last place. Your mover of the race is going to end up being Wesley Triplet. He started in 12th. So let's see, before I let you guys go, let's see if they have the standings updated. And instead of just, me sitting here questioning and not really knowing what I'm talking about, we can actually discuss what the points lead is now. And Wesley Triplet is at 1,042. And yeah, I was way wrong. Brandon Puffenbarger, he has at least a 6-point lead. I got a little confused. So he does have a 6-point lead. He scored 40 points tonight. Brandon Puffenbarger, with that 3rd place finish, is going to be 6 points behind him. And so 1st place gets 40 points, and 2nd place gets 35. So my apologies on that. But Wesley Triplet still, he's got a 6-point lead. He's able to finish. Brandon Puffenbarger finishes 1st, and Wesley Triplet finishes 2nd next week. Wesley Triplet's still in the lead by 1 point. So he's put himself in a really good spot early on. Austin Smith is right there with Brandon Puffenbarger for 2nd. Jarrett Larder, he finished, I believe, 4th tonight. That's going to put him 10 points back in 4th, and then on back. Unfortunately, Caleb McKinney was the guy that had the worst race tonight, and he's going to finish about 20 points back. Gary Donnellan has really put himself in a hole. I don't believe he made the race tonight. He's going to finish 42 points behind. So that's what it's looking like. We'll get back to it next week. Next week we'll really start to see, who's got a shot, who doesn't have a shot, and we'll start to see what we're looking at going into the final races. So we hope to see everybody back next week. With that being said, that's going to wrap up our broadcast. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you back, and have a good week.